अजीज़ तलबा और तालबात, फ़रूक फाउंडेशन ऑनलाइन स्कूल के ज़रिए यकसा नसाब के मुताबिक तालीम हासिल करें। अगर हमारी वीडियोस पसंद आएँ तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें और बेल आइकन को लाजमी दबाएं ताकि आइंदा आने वाली तालीमी वीडियोस आप हासिल कर सकें।
बच्चों दोस्तों ऑनलाइन स्कूल ना पूरा तालीम कवे शई और बोर्ड क्लास 9th और 10th वाला पास कवल शई तासो खपल नूर हम तालीम कवल शई खपल उम्र मुताबिक खपल मोर और वाला फ़ोन या लैपटॉप ज़रिए मूंग सर ऑनलाइन क्लास हस्तन दे बारा खबरा कवे शई रोज़ाना यो या 2 घंटा क्लास खले और चबियादा सो स्कूल तज़ीन तस्तब नूर मदद ज़रूरत नहीं जैसे पढ़ाई सारा तसो खपल टाइम और मोर लार वैसे बचत कवे शई ऑनलाइन क्लास सम फीस निश्ता तासो जूम मनी खपल क्लास हस्तल शई और हर मज़मून वाला मुकम्मल वीडियोज़ मौजूद दी. So the first part that we are going to discuss is that of comprehension. So basically there are 7 questions that we are going to answer. So the first question is, what are some examples of personification in the poem? As we have studied about personification, that it is a tool that is used in the poem in which the human qualities are attributed or are given to non-living things that are not alive. So that is when personification is used. So basically in this poem there are many examples of personification. For example, putting away clothes, suits, overcoats. These were lines that were about garden. So this is used as personification. Slips on blouses, sleeves, pulls on skirts, socks, shoes, dances are the examples of personification. That flowers are dancing. So this is also the example of personification. And other than this, garden, pulls on skirts, and wears socks and shoes are some of the examples of personification. So the second question is, how does the poet intensify the image of a pleasant day by using personification? So the answer is that dances in the sunlight is the personification that is used by the poet for describing a pleasant day. So basically, as we have seen that in this poem it is described that flowers are dancing in the sunlight. So basically it is a pleasant day because when sunlight is bright and shiny and this flower are blooming in it, so it's a sign of a pleasant day. So that's why this phrase, this personification term is used, dance in the sunlight for a pleasant day. So third question is, what type of poem do you think this is and why? So this is basically a personified poem. So in this poem, personification tool is used because spring season qualities are described as human qualities. All those human qualities were described for spring season, were used for spring season. So that's why it's a personification poem. So the fourth question is, what does the poet compare nature with? Why do you think he did this? So the poet compares nature with the human. He did this for us to understand his view with examples. Actually, the poet here just compared the human qualities, the nature of human, with the nature itself. So as the poem starts, that it starts with the sentence with the verse that garden is changing its clothes. This is something that humans do, and it's changing its clothes and winter coats and all that stuff, and now it's wearing some pleasant green shoes and crocus shoes and shoes like these are something that humans do. So these qualities were being described for nature, and this is how he just used these examples just to understand the nature better and the human qualities better. So the fifth question is, write the main idea of poem. The main idea of this poem is to describe the qualities of spring season. The poet explains that how the old, dusty and wrinkled flower changes into a new fresh blossom. As we have earlier discussed in the chapter, in the poem, that it is about the growth, it is about change. This poem is about change, that how the nature changes from dull colors into much brighter colors, and how it beautifies itself, how it becomes a very fresh season. So this also happens with humans, you know. Sometimes there are times that we feel low, sometimes and as time passes, we just change ourselves. The growth occurs in humans also grow with time. So this is how he has compared nature with the human nature, you know. So this was the main idea of the poem. So the sixth question is, write down the inanimate nouns used in the poem. We have already discussed that inanimate nouns are those that are not live, so that are not living things. So in this poem, the inanimate nouns were like clothes, suits, overcoats, blouse, sleeves, skirts, socks, shoes. So these were some examples of inanimate noun in this poem. So the seventh question is, reread second and last line of the poem. So here the second line is that garden is changing its clothes. So here, garden is the natural item that is having a human mood. So the garden is described as having a human mood because it is changing its clothes. The garden wants to change those dull colors, those drab appearance into a more fresh and new, green, to become more greener. So that's why the mood is to change the cloth. Second question is, what human mood does this item have? So the last line indicates that this item here, the flower is being discussed here. So the flower is very happy because it dances in the sunlight. Being happy here means that flowers are blossoming and blooming in the nature. So it is indicated that they are being happy. So that's why they are dancing in the sunlight, like they are waving with the wind in the sunlight. So that's also an example of personification. So the next question is, pick out all the adjectives in the lesson and write them in your notebooks. So basically, first we will describe what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that describes the quality or characteristic of a noun. Noun is a thing, place, or name of something. So when that noun is being given a quality or a characteristic, so we name that characteristic or quality as an adjective. So for example, some of the examples that are used in this poem is that dark winter suits. So the underlined part, dark winter. Here the noun is suit. And what kind of a suit? Dark winter suit. So the dark winter is an adjective which describes the noun, which is suits. Some other examples are dull scarves. Scarf is a noun, dull is an adjective. Drab brown overcoats. Overcoat is a noun. What kind of overcoat? Drab brown. It's like dull and brown in color. So drab brown is an adjective that describes the quality of an overcoat, that is noun. Snowdrop socks. Snowdrop socks. What kind of socks? Snowdrop socks. So here, as snowdrop is a quality that is describing the socks, so it is an adjective. The other example is purple crocus shoes. So here the shoes are purple in color and crocus shaped. So these are both the qualities and which are describing the nature of shoes. So shoes is basically a noun, and purple crocus are adjectives that are describing the shoes. Choose the correct option. First one is, what season does John Foster describe in the poem It's Spring? So it is fresh spring season. He was describing the whole scenario of a spring season. Which sentence contains personification? As we see, the personification, as we have already learned about personification, so the correct answer is, and the garden is changing its clothes. As you can see here, human quality is being described in this sentence. The word drab in the poem suggests that drab means nature is changing its dull clothes. We have already discussed the meaning of drab, that it means dull and light colored. So the last option is correct one. Gapped summary, filling the gaps with suitable words from the text. The poet says that nothing is as beautiful as spring season. He says that nature is changing its dull clothes. It is putting away its dull clothes and wraps itself in green shoots. A lot of growing leaves and flowers make the sight beautiful. So as you have seen that we have discussed the poem, so we can easily guess which word to use in this in the sentence. Use the idea written below to write a sentence using personification. So here we have to complete a sentence with using a personification word. So the first example is the book. So here the personification is, the book winked at me. Winked means to blink the eye. So the book blinked at me or winked at me. So the next is, the car roared loudly. Roared means to produce a heavy sound. So we are giving a personification word that, like, car is horning or producing a heavy sound. The stairs lifted a child. As we know that stair cannot literally lift a child, we use the stairs to go upwards or downwards, but here we are giving a human quality to lift someone. So the stairs lifted a child. The flowers were dancing. As we have earlier seen this personification in the poem, and they were being described that they are being happy. So the personification dancing is used. The traffic was hollering. Hollering means to make the awful sounds, to shout or something like that. So the traffic, when there's traffic, there is a lot of cars. There are a lot of cars and bikes, and all they make a noise. So for that particular word, the word hollering is used. My house is my keeper. It means that house takes care of me. My keeper, it looks after me. So it's a human quality, and so that is being described for house. So in the below pictures, we have to describe what kind of how they are being personified. So the first picture is of the clock. So the clock is screaming. If you can see, the clock is screaming. The face shows that the clock is screaming. So the tree, second one is, the tree is sad. It is evident from the face of the tree that the tree is sad. The car is smiling. As you can see, the car is smiling, so the personification word smiling is being used for it. The bird is angry. So all these pictures show the emotions that are just particular to humans. But here, as they are being shown, so we are attributing them to all these things. So now it's a writing portion. So write a unified paragraph on each of the pictures below by personifying the nouns and using verbs. First one has been done. So there is a first example in which we have to personify the noun. We have to give qualities to those nouns by using verbs. So for example, in the first picture we can see a book. So here it is written that I am made of trees. I have 2 hands to write, 2 legs to walk off the shelves, 2 eyes to see, and a mouth to speak. I am happy to live in a bookshop, but someday I'll have a lovely owner that won't break my spine and will read me with care. So you can see in this paragraph, the green word is a verb and the blue one is a noun. And we can see how the nouns are being personified by using verbs. In first line we can see made of trees. Like, I'm made of trees. I have 2 hands to write. You have to give quality to that noun. 2 legs to walk off. Legs are noun. They are used for walking. Eyes, they are used for seeing. Mouth, to speak. And in the next line we can see live in a bookshop. So these are some of the examples of how the nouns can be personified by using. So the second one is I am a shoe. I am made of leather. Here made is a verb and leather is a noun. And people wear me for walking. Here wear is a verb and walking is a noun. So this is how we can personify. My mood remains sad. Mood here is a noun. Remain sad, it's a verb. So you can see that how a paragraph, we can write a paragraph by seeing the picture and use different verbs to personify the nouns. In the next example, it is a cherry. So I'm a cherry. I'm red in color and sweet in taste. I grow in summer season. So in this sentence you can see grow in summer season. So grow here is verb, which is used to personify the summer season. Summer season is a noun. Third example is a signboard. I am a signboard. I stand on the road. So stand is a verb. On the road, road is a noun. People usually stop their cars after seeing me. Stop is a verb. Cars is a noun. So people stop their cars. This is how it is being personified. So I hope you have got the idea how we can use different verbs to personify the noun. So these were some of the examples that I have read for you. Now we will do the grammar part. So first part is subject and object pronouns. Filling the blanks with the correct subject and object pronoun. So in the side box you can see it's written that pronouns are words we use in the place of a noun. We have both subject and object pronouns called personal pronouns. So pronoun is basically a word. For example, if I say Aslam is a writer. So in next sentence, I won't use Aslam again, but I will instead use he is a good writer. He writes stories. So this is how a pronoun is used, and subject pronouns are that is related to oneself, like I, she, he, you, it, they, we. An object, me, her, him, you, it, them, us. So these are some listed subject and object pronouns. So in the first blank, Jamil and I are friends. So now here 2 people are being discussed. So the proper pronoun that we will use here is we are friends, because here 2 people are being discussed. The computer is broken. Computer is a thing. So for things we use it. The pronoun it. It is broken. She will talk to Jamila later today. So here Jamila is a girl. So the pronoun used for Jamila would be her. She will talk to her later today. In the fourth sentence, he does not know Palwasha and Maria. So Palwasha and Maria are 2 girls. So we use a plural pronoun for it. He does not know them. Them is used for Palwasha and Maria. The teacher helped my friend and me. So the teacher helped us. So now the person itself is being discussed, me. So here we will use us, not them. When we are talking about other people, like in the above example, Palwasha and Maria, when we are talking about others, we use them. But when we are talking about ourselves and the other person, we use us or we, as in the first example. So next part is possessive pronoun. A pronoun including possession is called possessive pronoun. For example, mine, your, hers, theirs. We can use a possessive pronoun instead of a noun phrase. So basically, possessive noun is used when we are talking about things that are our possession, that belongs to us. So we or that belongs to others. So these kind of words like that were given in the below in the examples are used as possessive pronoun in the sentence. Possessive pronoun یو داسې ورډ دی چې کوم کې اکثر مو خپل شیانو ولا ذکر کوو یا مو نورو شیانو ولا نور چا ولا شیانو ولا ذکر کوو نو ازي کې مو ناون په ځای چې د possessive pronoun لګوو لکه mine, yours, hers, theirs داسې کې. So in the given examples, is that Arif's bicycle? No, it's my bicycle. So now here my bicycle would turn into no, it's mine. You know, my bicycle is turned into it's mine. Whose house is this? Is it your house? So your house is turned into s. Yours. We have added s. Is it yours? Like we would use this. This is how possessive pronouns are used. Her bag is gray. My bag is brown. Her bag is gray. Mine. My is turned into mine is brown. My bag is turned into mine is brown. So this is how possessive pronouns are used. So the next question is question words. Make questions for the following. Answer using question word. The first one has been done. So the first question word, it's being discussed in the side box. Which questions word to use? So who is used for people? Whose is used for something that a possession, when we are talking about possessions or things. What is used for things? Which is used to choose. When we are choosing something, we use which between the words. What is used with nouns and which is also used with nouns. So the first sentence is the best season of the year is spring. So if we are asking the question, so we would ask what is the best season of the year? You know? I'm playing. What are you playing? So here a thing is being discussed, that what are you playing? I'm playing. What are you doing? So the person would say, I'm playing. I'm fine, thank you. So the question for it would be, how are you? How are you? The person would say, I'm fine, thank you. This is my book. So here my book is discussed. It means that it is belonging to someone. So it is possession. So with possession, we use whose. Whose book is this? I will visit the library tomorrow. So when we talk about the place, so library is a place. So mostly with place, the word question when is used. When will you visit library? So this is how question words are used. Indefinite pronouns. We use indefinite pronouns to refer to people or things without saying exactly who or what they are. We use pronouns ending in body or one for people and pronouns ending in thing for things. So indefinite pronouns are the words that we use when we are not actually taking the name of a thing or person. Okay, indefinite pronoun الله استعماليږي چې کله مو یو کس ولا نما نوي خستونی صحیح شو یا مو یو شی بری کې نما نوي خستونی نو هغه د پاره چې کوم لفظ استعماليږي هغه ته indefinite pronoun یي. For example, everybody comes at the party. No one cares about me. Here no one is being discussed. So everybody, no one, we know that someone is being discussed or a person is being discussed here. So we use one or body like earlier discussed in the paragraph. for a person. Filling the blanks with the correct indefinite pronouns to complete each sentence. So the first sentence is the store is full. We don't need to buy anything. Here, a thing is being discussed. In store, there are things. So we have to use thing indefinite pronouns. So remember that whenever it is a negative sentence where not is being used. In this sentence, we can see that do not is being used. So here it will always be anything. When there it is a positive sentence and not is not used, then we will use something. I forgot my purse at home. Can someone give me a bit of money? Now a person is being discussed, so we would use someone. And in question, there is always, whenever a question is asked, some is used. So someone, here's a question, so we would use someone. Isma is a very good teacher. Everyone likes and admires her. I went to Salim's shop this morning, but there was no one at the shop. Everybody was ready to go for a picnic. So the difference between, I would like to tell you that the difference between everyone or everybody is that everyone is used in more formal sentences. When we are talking when we are talking about someone that is being respectful, and a picnic, going to a picnic, and like in informal settings, everybody is used. Body is used for informal, for friends and for family, this kind of thing. When we are talking about some people like teachers and this teachers or boss, everyone is used. Write the correct possessive pronoun into the gap in second sentence in each question to give it the same meaning as the sentence before it. So that photograph belongs to them. That photograph is theirs. In second sentence, the bracelet belongs to me. Me is converted, that bracelet is mine. So me is converted to mine. Them is converted to theirs. This suitcase belonged to us. This suitcase is ours. So us and ours are both same. These boots belong to him. These boots are his. This computer belongs to me and my brother. This computer is ours. So the next is reflexive pronoun. We use a reflexive pronoun as a direct object when the object is same as the subject of the verb. Like for example, she is instructing herself to cook. So here the subject is she, and we are using herself instead of she. Be careful while riding motorbike. You might hurt yourself. With the preposition by, when we want to show, we use by when we want to show someone did something alone or without any help. So for example, he lived by himself in a new city. She walked home by herself. It means that he is living alone. By himself means he's living alone himself in a city. And she walked home by herself. It means that she walked alone. So we are using by herself. So filling the blanks with the correct reflexive pronouns to complete each sentence. My little sister can dress herself. It means she's little, and we are using little sister. So the reflexive pronouns, it would be herself. Her. I wash my clothes by myself. It means that I wash my clothes alone, and I can do that by myself. He repaired the computer himself. Himself. They don't like to talk about themselves. So its reflexive pronoun would be themselves. Sarah looked at herself in the mirror for hours. So Sarah looked at herself. Sarah is a girl, so the reflexive pronoun would be herself. So when you are using this word self, it shows reflexive pronoun. That subject is being discussed. We hurt ourselves in the incident. So we, it means that including me and others. So we hurt ourselves in the accident. Pronoun antecedent agreement. The word antecedent means something that precedes something else. In language, it is the word that a pronoun refers back to. Since the pronoun replaces the noun, it has to agree in number and gender. So it means that the nouns that are being discussed would be are referring to something that is in past, that has been done in the past. So when we will change that into pronouns, so it is pronoun antecedent agreement. So the pronoun which replaces the noun must agree with it in these ways. A subject pronoun must replace to a subject noun. An object pronoun must replace an object noun. A feminine noun which is used for females pronoun must replace to a feminine noun. A masculine pronoun for males must replace to a masculine noun. A singular, something that's a single, pronoun must replace a singular noun. A plural pronoun must replace to a plural noun. Plural means many. So for example, Rashid needed a camera. So Rashid is a noun, camera is also a noun. And how he borrowed it. So now Rashid is changed into he and camera is changed into it. So we must replace the singular masculine subject noun, which is Rashid, with the singular masculine subject pronoun, which is he. And we also replace the singular object noun, which is camera, into the object pronoun, which is it, as per the above rules. So circle the correct pronoun that agrees with its antecedent. The first one has been done. Javeria and Sarah said. They are two girls. So we would use a plural pronoun. They were too tired to skate any longer. Every student wants to impress his or her teacher. Here, whenever every or each is used, it is always used a singular pronoun. Both Tanya and Javed said. Here again, both are plural, two persons, so we would use they. They were not exercising regularly. The cat is eating from its pot. Cat is a singular noun, so we have to replace it with a singular pronoun. It's please remind each student to bring his or her homework tomorrow. Again, each is used with a student. So we would use a singular, his or her, not their. Okay? So we would use his or her homework tomorrow. I hope you have understood the grammar part, and see you in the next one.